taxing. If you want to move the chair around so that you don't, strain your neck, it is okay. Yeah.
Are we ready? So Elvis is going to go through the analysis and help you become more certain of what your traits are.
Okay, so let's start from here. So,
Let them guess.
the task is going for a weekend retreat for your church, and you are planning for the weekend retreat. So, I will just go through here and you will tell me which trait you think this is. So, they're going to circle square, ranch, yeah? Camp. Let the church know Sunday service and online, the cost per person 100, list of staff, sleep over one night, food provided cost, bring Bibles, notes, brings, sun lotion and water. After lunch, day 2, free time, horseback riding down at bar, swimming on a hill. Then pastor preaching church service. So this is the weekend retreat. Which trait do you think this is? Phlegmatic. Phlegmatic. So we have another phlegmatic here. So just observe what is going on. You all have a paper to do the planning. Anywhere we go is not a joke. Phlegmatics always do have a page. See here, have a page, and look here, have a page. And they would only write tiny little bits. Look at all the big writings here. You look at this tiny little bit here, and tiny little bit there. Phlegmatic, because they are easygoing, they are not in a hurry. And you know what here? They put that 3 days, all inclusive, lots of books, no phone, friendly meeting, new people. What is this? What does that mean?
That's a place.
Sorry? It's a location, yeah? So we will all go to Bora Bora, and by the way, as we go, don't bring your phone.
And it's free and hurry.
And it's all inclusive. And here too, and there is no cost. And here too, phlegmatic, they always like to have time to rest. So they've put here 3 times. This time nobody should disturb us. We are going to have our nap. Or read the book. So they bought, bring Bibles and notebooks, sleep over one night. Here is anything goes. So guess what? They are going for a weekend retreat. When are they going? What time are we going? So the phlegmatic did not bring a time, and here too they did not have a time. Or the cost, but this one says $100.
No, that one.
Here,
no, that one says
$100, and this one there is no cost. It is free, all inclusive.
I'm going to that one.
Okay. Now let's move on and look at these people. Who do you think these people are? Who? So Acts, they said they're going to some realm getaway. Okay, at Muskoka. And the dates, they are specific. July 5th to 8th. Pick up time, 3 p.m. 7 p.m. check-in. Return, 8th, 3 p.m. Day 1, they have this, 7 p.m. Day 2, breakfast, seminar, lunch, this, that, social, this and that. They have the time there.
I'm gonna pain in my arm.
Who do you think these people are? Melancholic, chapter planners.
Right here.
And mind you,
Look.
what is the departure time?
No, pick up time.
No, here, the pickup time, so they are leaving
Yeah.
to go. Departure time. Yeah? What is the departure time?
3 p.m.
If you come at 3:15, they are gone.
Look at the bottom, pick up time, sharp.
3 p.m. sharp. That is the melancholic speaking. Now, let's look here whether we've got other melancholics here.
Yes,
So,
that one. Purple one.
here, they go in. You see how he marked it up.
This one is color.
I would, because this one have gone melancholic, but this is the melancholic thing. So I would look out our budget, pick a place, make a flyer to get this. Here, figure out how many people get it. This is choleric melancholic. It's not melancholic choleric. This is choleric melancholic. Just like this one here. So look at cholerics melancholics. Location, info session, cost, number of people, program purpose, duration. Look at what. Figure out how many people will get back. Will get them back.
So
And yes,
the two cholerics are visionaries.
they are visionary. They have put the bigger picture. Now the details I do not know. So here, create a team to get food, games and material. They are delegating right here because their choleric is coming out. And here to look at what any volunteers, they want people to volunteer to do all the different stuff. Upon arrival, hand out itineraries on different activities. How the day would go. Okay. They are mapping out how they giving
This is also choleric.
forms. Here,
So, number 8.
number 8. Make sure everyone is situated in their rooms.
Make sure choleric bossy.
Yes, here they are being the bossy people. Mode of transportation. How we get there, I do not care, but we have to definitely get there. So with the choleric, you see how they are emphasizing the bigger picture. Now we have another choleric here, and we have another choleric here. But let's look at this choleric. Location, question mark. Direction. Book rooms. How many people? Count the amount of people going, and you know the course spaces available. You see the different teams coming up here because here Anadra was not sure whether she was this or they said now you will come on your own, it will come out. Now her choleric is coming out. Cabin question: how many people per cabin? She had just put the question. I don't need to know the details. How many people? And you see here, you see here. Figure out how many people.
Here, look. Food. Who's bringing what?
Who's bringing what? Aside. This is where the delegation also comes in. You go to all the cholerics here. Delegation will also come in. What we will need: enough gas and extra fans, room booked, bring blankets. So this is the visionary here. And the visionary bit is coming in because organized to meet up at a certain hour. How are we going to meet up? Who is going to do that? They are just putting it in there.
But there's a little bit of melancholy
here.
Because she planned it, she visioned it, and then now she's getting into the details part. That's the middle part.
Yes. So the middle part here, the details is coming back. Bring cookies and snack and enough food and even toothbrush. That is the melancholic in here, the secondary trait coming out. And the activities, daily schedule with rooms for
that's melancholy.
Activities for kids, assign, delegation also coming in here as well. Choleric coming in here. Now, let's look at another choleric here. Your church pastor is choleric. So here, plan weekend retreats. Number 1, Acts weekend at Sweetwater Resort. You know, 2 flyers to promote. Call and book room. These are the choleric coming out. The visionary. Find out the cost. You can see how all the cholerics, they are very visionary and they just ask the question. Find out the cost. People should go and get the info and bring it back so that we make the decisions.
Delegate tasks, number 9.
You see, so they get numbers of who is coming. Does this sound familiar? Figure out how many people is coming. And here they say the mode of transportation, volunteers. We don't know how many people. We don't know how many people. We don't know how many people. How many people coming? So all the cholerics are on one mind. How many people meet church at 8 a.m. Send out a reminder. Give instructions to what to bring. So they are giving the delegation and they are telling people what they have to do. And also delegate tasks. Need confirmation by a certain date. Collect payment. Plan activities. Delegate people. Be on time. Do head count, because in the end they want to make sure that emergencies, everybody is accounted for. Do head count, and they want to make sure that they map it. So you see how all the cholerics, they are being specific about things. Then they left it to the melancholic to put the details in. Now let's look here. Where? Blue Mountain. Arrive Friday night, leave Monday, leave 5 p.m. This is a melancholic too. Yeah. Because we put them together. Is this you guys? This group, so they weren't sure, so we put them together. Let's put this one here. That's it. So that we can see. See here. Where? Question mark, they say Blue Mountain. Arrive Friday night, leave Monday morning. So they leave 5 p.m. home 12 noon. Transportation, they have it. Food, they put somebody's name there. They
transportation,
that's why. So Harold would be in charge of. So you see, not only that they are putting people there, they know who is doing what. As opposed to the cholerics, they say, who is doing what? How are we getting there? How many people coming? But here, they actually have accounted for it that this person will be in charge of here, that person will be in charge. So here we see melancholic and phlegmatic. There. Let's go down and find out. So cost per person, 150, and extra spending money, melancholic thinking. And what to do? Hiking, fishing, visit the village, skiing, going out to eat ice cream, bonfire, go swimming, staying at lake house, parking gear. So they have marked things out. Toothbrush, toothpaste. Does that sound familiar with a melancholic thinking? With toothbrush also coming in here too. You see how melancholics are details. They will even go to specific, even to toothbrush that people would normally, because cholerics will never think about toothbrush, because in their mind, you need to brush your teeth, so you have to carry it.
Come on, Heidi, come on.
And
these people are true melancholics.
Yes.
Look, take one person, cleaning duty each day.
They are melancholics.
One planner for each day, one runner. This is pure melancholic.
This is a perfect melancholic right here.
That was a perfect melancholic. With a little bit of choleric, because when I was going around, they said, okay, who's doing what? Let's assign Sonia for food. I know that. So that's the choleric coming, but they're more
So see here,
melancholic then.
they are melancholic even that they bring in flashlights and sack spray. Very melancholic, detailed.
That was a very...
And here too, they are very detailed. See how they've organized their, timings and their days.
They
Social
room
events.
number for seminar.
Where is it?
Seminar, room A.
Very detailed. Very detailed. Very detailed. So, watch what is going here. Phlegmatics are definitely coming.
Wow, that's crazy.
They have in their well created a weekend retreat that they are happy to go, but at the same time they are not in a hurry at all to even get going, because in the end when they get there, one thing on their mind that we are happy, we are taking the time out, we are just going to have time to just rest and just read our books while people are busy going to hiking. They're going to hiking and they're going to do ski. The peaceful phlegmatic can just be there with lots of books to just read. Friendly
meetings.
And meetings and meet new people. Let's meet new people as I read the book. Let's talk about the different interests that we have. They are okay with it. Once you see that the melancholic, they are busy even thinking that, is everybody okay? Have people eaten? Are we cleaning the place? Are things on spot? And what is it that we are doing? Here, the melancholics too, but the cholerics comes in. Okay, now who is doing the cleaning? It's already been taken care of because the people have got even rotation here. Then they will come. We need confirmation that what rooms are we using for the presentation? It's already been taken. Room A, room this, and we're doing this and that. See how everyone is so different in their thinking and how things even goes. So we come here, we put something here that the sanguine, if we had someone who is a sanguine phlegmatic or sanguine choleric, you would have seen a different true sanguine. For the true sanguine, anywhere we go, they are going to Hawaii for the weekend retreat. They go to Fiji, they go to Australia for the weekend, and we are not joking.
And they charter
and they will charter a private plane.
And get a limousine to pick them up.
And they get a limousine to pick them up from the airport, and they go to the beach to do barbecue all day for the weekend seminar. That is the sanguine thinking. Anywhere we go, we were in Germany at a church and we had about 365 people. And we did this. It was a full-blown weekend just on the personality trait. And we got them into different groups and we were feeding back. And the sanguines, they said that for the weekend, they will go right day to South Africa and they party, and on Saturday, they fly back to Europe, and the next one, they go to Hawaii. And people say, how are you doing that for the weekend? They say, well, we got to do it if we want to have a remarkable time. That is how their mind functions. They are extreme. And when you take the peaceful phlegmatic, they are the watcher. They just want to sit back and watch the world go by. And they are not in a hurry. They are so peaceful that they will settle with their books and just have a nap. They will read and they will just want to connect with people.
And the sanguine and the phlegmatic relational, the sanguine and the phlegmatic are relational people. They're about relationship. They're about building relationship, about getting along. Whereas you have the choleric and the melancholy who are doers. They're more task-oriented. Everything is about the task, getting it done, getting it completed. So you'll notice that people who are choleric or melancholic get upset with people easily when they're not getting things done.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Let's get the task, let's do the task, let's get the job done, and then play can come later. But we will sacrifice play to get the job done. Whereas it's the opposite for the sanguine phlegmatics. We will sacrifice work for play. Amen. Amen. So, how does this play in our relationships? You guys tell me. How does this play in relationships?
I think it could clash at times.
Or it can even out. You need to balance both. So, you know, someone is going to motivate you to do what needs to be done. And when it's time to rest and play, then you can have a good time. Just a little bit more direction.
So you balance each other out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going back to Mike.
Yeah, so my wife is a melancholy, and she just...
And Mike, you are melancholic too?
No, I'm choleric.
You're choleric.
I'm choleric.
You came home, eh?
So, yeah.
Oh, purple one, choleric.
So sometimes she'd say something to me, and it's just too long. I just need to know, like, is it blue or is it black? Don't tell me it's magenta, you know? So sometimes it can clash. I'm like, yo, hurry up, just tell me. And then that's when I kind of get impatient, right?
And that can be true. So coming back to you about the balance, the only way you'll understand the balance is when you talk about it and when you know who you are, being self-aware and being understanding that because you are this way, somebody's not like you. And so you can't force the other person to fit into your mold, into your way of doing things, because that's when you clash. But when you have the understanding now, when your wife is speaking, you're going to be what from now on, Michael?
More patient.
Hallelujah.
So your eyes go up.
Amen. Is this your wife? Are you the wife? And the wife, knowing that my husband is impatient, I'm going to reduce the details, right? I'm going to give the higher level as opposed to I'm going to square one and
go
then
to
go
Nova
to
Scotia and to Winnipeg before I come back to Brampton.
It is not okay to say, this is who I am, take me or leave me. It is not okay when you're in a relationship with somebody because you're working together, you're a team now. And now you have knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. But because you have knowledge, you should not perish. You should be growing together. Because now you're working together as a team. We're going to sit down. We're going to work out what works best for me. What do I need to know? What do I need to do to survive this relationship? What do I need from you? What works best for you? I know for me, my husband is a sanguine. He needs socialization. He needs people. Me, I need people in small doses. Yesterday, last night when we left here, oh yeah, let me tell them the other story before. When we're in London, like we do training all the time. And in London we do all weekends, all days. And on the way home, Melancholy, what do you want to do on the way home? If you've spoken the whole day, interacting with people,
Just want to chill.
you just want to be quiet, right? And then reflect in your head. You don't want to talk about it. You just want to go over it in your head. Oh, okay, how did this go? This person I spoke to, I need to call back. So we're on our way home with Mr. JB the Sanguine. He just wants to give everything. So whatever I'm thinking in my head because I need that peace.
He's talking out loud.
But he wants to tell me what I'm thinking because he's thinking the same thing, but for him, he can't keep it in his head. So I said, is it okay if you don't speak for a little bit?
No, you did not. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So my sugar don't preach when you talk too much. Can you keep quiet? Yes, hallelujah. And I said, what do you mean I talk to you? Say, I just want peace of mind to just reflect and just, so can you just, so can you just, keep quiet and.
Oh, can I also add that sanguines embellish?
Everything.
Thank you. So everything that he says, just take half of that. Because as he says, if you're telling stories and you don't add things to it, it's not fun. So the first part was not.
So hear this. She told me to keep quiet, and I kept quiet for 3 days.
Oh, that's dramatic.
Indeed.
Right.
Extreme,
Emotional abuse.
extreme sanguine, and she came. So why aren't you talking about? You said I should shut my mouth and I should keep quiet. And in that moment, but you see, the sanguine mind goes the extreme. That's why we have the growth areas and the strength, that you don't only settle in the strength, but the whole notion is that the growth areas, what is it that we are all doing differently to bring strengths out of it? Because you don't just say, this is who I am and this is what God has made me, so I am this, I just become impatient, so I'll be impatient, or I just become this, so I will be that. So here, God.
Sorry. Are there any comments? Any examples? Contributions? I don't like it when you're on too.
Okay, so I thought it was choleric and melancholy, and my wife is melancholy. I think she's straight melancholy, and that's why you're not straight melancholy. What are you, melancholy and choleric?
She's melancholy.
Choleric, right?
So here this one. Your primary one is choleric.
You're right.
Her primary is melancholic. And we always say that in our experience, that choleric and melancholic, they are both workaholics.
Okay.
They are both
That's
workaholics.
why I get her melancholy piece, because we're on the same wavelength with that.
You are on the same wavelength, and whereas she likes to take her time to process things and to take her time to arrive at a decision, you are like, okay, why are you going this and this and this is it, this is the way forward, this is the decision, why don't you just make it here? But you are looking at the bigger picture, and for her, the details are very important to her, and that she just wants to take her time to get it right.
And actually, melancholics and cholerics make a fantastic team.
Oh yeah.
But if you don't understand each other, then you get on your nerves.
Yes.
So that team works really great because you're the same, have the same mentality as in goal oriented. Let's get the job done. Except that it's the process that's different.
So would that not frustrate because I'm melancholic, so to get to the end goal, he's already there.
Yes.
I'm not there yet because I need to process.
Yes.
So it takes me a bit longer, right? But I'll get there where he is. But I need the time. I don't want to be rushed. I need the process. I need to process it in my, and it could even take me a month. But he's already there.
Yes.
I wait.
He
Now-
waits.
Now I wait, because
Yeah,
I get it. I get that I have to have that waiting process. So what I actually try to do is start to plant the seed of where I think this is going to go. So just kind of plant it so she can kind of like, okay, I'm gonna think of, and just let her think about it. And then she'll come and she goes, okay, Rob, this is what I think we should do. Oh, yeah, sounds like a good idea, right? Because I'm already there, but I need to kind of help her out by planting the seed. Whereas before, I would get frustrated and say, come on, we're doing this now. And then I realized, oh, okay, she's got to get there, but I've got to kind of plant it so she can
And
think
wait for
about
it
it.
to process it.
Yeah.
And so, how Elvis and I work, and we've been working together for 20 years now, and we've been married, so we're doing something a little bit right. I'm very melancholy in my work, and I'm phlegmatic at home. He's very choleric at work, and he's sanguine everywhere else. So when we apply in programs, Elvis will say, So, if a church says, oh, we want this done, he will think about it and then he'll come to me and he'll say, Ruth, this is what I think should be done. And then we'll have a discussion about it, and then he'll leave it. And then I put the details together. I then come up with, okay, the breaks, the details, and then I bring it to him. And then we have a discussion. It doesn't always work out that smoothly, because I don't always agree. But eventually, the way it's working is that he knows that I need to process, and he knows that if I put the details in, if you have a vision and you don't have the steps to it, it's not going to work. If you have a goal but you don't have your, from this you're going the steps to the goal, you might not reach the goal. And so he could say, yeah, this is a vision, and not think about it again. And because he's sanguine, he can go to any event and just start speaking. Whereas as a melancholy, I need to have the information in my head. Even if I have it on there, I have to go through it before the day. Elvis doesn't need that, because his mind doesn't work that way, because he's a storyteller. Because he's a storyteller. Melancholics are not very good at communicating their thoughts, because everything is internal. The process, they know what they want to do, but they're not very good at communicating it. And so if you remember last night, I said you need to communicate more. So you need to communicate. So if you know that you're an introvert, natural introvert, it's important to learn to communicate. And it's important not to personalize things. Because introverts personalize a lot. They personalize in that they take responsibility for things that are not even their responsibility. They get upset very easily about situations and events and people. And so not everything, again, the world doesn't come to an end. And then another thing I always say is, it's not about me. It's not why do I think I'm so important that people are talking about it? You can't be that sociable, but when people are laughing, then you're thinking, are they laughing at me? There's a tendency of thinking that way, so it's being aware. And then with the sanguine and the phlegmatics, actually, cholerics and phlegmatics work very well together as well. Just because cholerics give instructions and phlegmatics are followers. So they don't want to argue, they don't want to get into any conflict, so you give them instruction, they will follow, they will do it. And melancholics and sanguines work very well together.
So when I first came in, Mike told me that I was a sanguine, and I'm phlegmatic, but I know I can be both sort of thing. So when the time comes, like I'm good with people, I can get out there, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I just feel like if I want to be alone and I don't want to talk to anyone, I'm pretty chill at the same time.
It's so here, you can be phlegmatic sanguine or sanguine phlegmatic. Or you can be sanguine choleric or choleric sanguine. Or you can be choleric melancholic or melancholic choleric, or you can be melancholic phlegmatic or phlegmatic melancholic. What you can't is choleric phlegmatic or phlegmatic choleric or sanguine melancholic or melancholic sanguine. You
Yeah,
cannot
maybe extreme, yeah.
type coda, but you can be. Yeah. So in your case, yes, you can be phlegmatic sanguine. Yes.
Okay. I was going to say something. No, that's fine. So every trait has its strengths and has its growth areas. There is no single trait that is better than the other. Every trait is equal to the other. What I find is that in society we tend to gravitate towards the extroverts because they have that appealing personality, and the world makes it that if you are, out there and loud, you're the person. But every single trait is just as important as the other. So, when God could have made us all sanguines, we would have lots of fun, but accomplish little, right? He could have made us all melancholy, would have been organized and charted, but not very cheerful. He could have made us all cholerics, would have been set to lead, but impatient, and no one would follow. He could have made us all phlegmatics. We would have had a peaceful world, but not much enthusiasm for life. So, we need each temperament for the total function of the body. Each part should do its work to unify the action and produce harmonious results. Same at home, same at church, same at work. And because we know, we can tell just by spending 5 minutes with you, we're able to tell whether you're choleric, melancholic, sanguine, or phlegmatic. And accordingly, I will treat you accordingly because I know this is your trait. So if I know that you are a choleric person, especially working with clients, if a choleric person comes into my counseling room, the way I relate and talk with them is going to be different from how I'm going to relate and talk with a sanguine who comes into the room. A sanguine doesn't want straight talking and direct. They want to have a bit of fun. So you're going to banter a little with them before you get started. You know they might not do your homework, so why give them homework and frustrate them? You know the phlegmatic is not going to do the homework either. So you have to know each trait, what their strengths are, and play into that. And where the weaknesses are, you're just going to compromise and find a different way of achieving the results. But if you're going to push through regardless, that's when the relationship breaks down. So it's very good to be aware. So your handouts has given you the different traits. Read it. Try and figure out what your children, your family members, or people that you're working with, your church members. And it's really, we'll come back to church because we're all here at church. The pastor, in our church, we're Seventh-day Adventists. So in our church, we have different departments. Everybody has different roles. It's very good to know what each trait is to put them in that particular department or role at church for the best outcome. For the best outcome. One of my sons, he's definitely an introvert. Actually, we're not sure. He's an introvert? He's an introvert. But he claims to be a sanguine. When he turned 18, he said, from now on, I'm a sanguine. I don't care what anybody says, I'm a sanguine. Sometimes introverts like the sanguine nature, like that sociable, get along with everybody. That social confidence. Introverts don't have that social confidence. So sometimes it can be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little stressful going to social activities. I remember when I was at uni, I never went to the cafeteria by myself. Back in the days we had cafeterias. I never walked into the cafeteria by myself because I had this unhealthy belief that if I walk in there, everybody's going to say, there goes a loser who has no friends. But it took me a while. I'm not that person. You said from the time you were 19 to now, you've changed. We do change. You don't change your trait, but you adjust. And you learn the weaknesses and you do something about them. And so I'm a presenter now. I speak, but I'm not a sanguine. I should not be up here, but I've learned. And then when I finish, I just want to be quiet. I want to go straight to bed. Or I just want to be somewhere alone just to reflect.
Don't tell me to shush my mouth.
And I don't tell him to shush his mouth anymore. Now I just say, can you just give me an hour to process? And now you don't even do that because you know how things are.
So who can tell the personality of God? What is God's traits? All four? Who else? Yeah? God, yes?
I would say all four too.
All four. So God is all four. He's got strength but no weaknesses. How do we know that God is phlegmatic, choleric, melancholic, or sanguine? You see, when Christ was born, sanguine, they always begin in a flashy way. When he was born, only he was born, the wise men, they traveled to come and see him, sanguine right there. And we know that sanguine, they like crowd. People follow them. Anywhere crowd goes, you see the multitude crowd. And that even people went to John the Baptist, hey, that gentleman that has come, all the people are now following him, and they are not following you anymore. And John said, he must increase and I must decrease. He knew that the sanguine had come. And the sanguine, they want to make it fun and not judge people. How do we know that Christ was phlegmatic? When he was in the boat, storm came, people were afraid. He was taking a nap. He was sleeping. Phlegmatic right there.
Yes, man.
He was not worried. He was cool, calm, collected right there.
We all want to come back and see him.
You know, he was cool, calm, and collected right there.
Calm, man.
You know, very calm and peaceful. He will meet people, they want to stone the lady. He would be there and just not judge the lady and just write peacefully, and people will walk away and will say that I condemn you not. I don't judge you. I'm accepting you just the way you're, to bring peace. Phlegmatic right there. How do we know he's melancholic? He's always on time. He's never late. He will be on time. Prophecy said at this time the Messiah will come. At that time he was there. He said in 3 days I will do this. He was right there. He said I will die, I will wake up, this and that. He said I'm going to prepare a place for you. We better believe it, because the melancholic, the carpenter's son, he said I will build the mansion. He is a carpenter himself. He is building that meticulous mansion right there for us. How do we know he's choleric? You know that he was not afraid to call sin by its right name. He's choleric because he must correct wrong. At the temple, he was letting divinity flash through humanity. He was bringing things down. Why are you selling this, doing it? And he was impatient too. He said, you Pharisee, vipers, hypocrites, this and that. He was cursing them. Choleric right there. He was looking at the bigger picture. He would delegate, now you go and do this, now you do this. He looks at the bigger picture. He's got awful. Isn't it amazing that we were made in his image? And just as we are emotional, God is also emotional too. And we said that choleric, they have the trace of anger. 389 times anger is recorded in the Old Testament. 321 is directed at God himself. And the anger of God was kindled against the children of Israel. And God's wrath was on this. And God said, no wonder why we are angry too, because anger is an emotion. We were made in his image. So we look at God, he's got all the different traits. And it is okay for all of us that he's created us to also have different traits. But just that if we ask his wisdom, we will be perfect in his name. Just that he has not got any weaknesses or growth areas. We too can be like him when we start to tolerate and do and adjust things differently. God bless you.
So this is the image that we were created in, but when we fell, that's where the weakness comes in.
Right.
And that's where the growth has to take place. But when we come back into a relationship with Jesus Christ, then this is where the growth areas happen and we become whole. That's why the question is asked, will you be made whole?
Yes.
Will you fix up all these areas that we have identified, the weaknesses and the different things, instead of being bossy, that can be looking at manipulation and control and witchcraft and all of that, which is a negative side. And this is why we're here. My people perish for lack of knowledge, and we are a baby church, and babies must be healthy. And this is why God wants us to be healthy in our upbringing, so we can be the salt and the light, and we again can bring glory to the name of God. That's what he wants. All of this teaching, I was reading it last night, and when he was saying, husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church, that the washing of the word, so that he can present us holy and beautiful. This is what he's doing. He wants us to be holy and beautiful and make God attractive again in the world that people want our God. Amen. So God bless you, and we will see you at 5. There are snacks downstairs. if you want to go downstairs and help us out, and take care of that. Okay.
And this evening we are presenting of men and women communicating their differences.
Wow, men and women. Mike, you get that? Men and women communicating their differences. So put that on social media and see if we can get some more men in here. And yeah, but this has been great. It's really important. All right, God bless you, everyone, and see you at 5.